Alright guys, welcome back to CM's Garage. It's been a while since I've posted anything. Over the last couple months it's been super hot out, so it's just very challenging to get out here in the garage and make those the videos. However, I haven't stopped working on this car over the last couple months. I've done a few projects, some big, some small. I want to show you those right now, so stay tuned. The first project I want to talk about, some of you might have noticed, is the hood. I put an earlier 66 and earlier hood on this car, and I'll go through and show you how I did that. There's the old hood. And for those of you who aren't too familiar with the standard Beetle, the 68 and later standard hood has a more like blunt front here. It's not, it doesn't go quite as low on the car. The original Herbie car was a 63 and it would have had this hood. So as I worked on this project, it wasn't something I did initially. However, I wanted to do it and I finally got around to it. But not only do you have to replace the hood, but you have to replace the front apron, which I'll show you there. Let's go ahead and get it open. To open the hood, I've got my new latch hooked up. We got the cable down here. We'll go ahead and pull that. And you'll see I've got the earlier 67 and earlier apron on here. And also you have to install this new latch. I had to make a new tube for the cable that operates that. And I also, the apron itself had some holes here for the earlier bumpers, so I went ahead and put some grommets in there just to fill those holes and keep the dust from going out of there. If you watch some of my earlier videos, you'll see that on the later model car, to use these earlier overrider bumpers, I had to get these brackets from CIP1 that mount on the outside of the trunk area. So that is that project. I had to remove the fenders and I had to drill out the spot welds for the apron to pull that off and put the new apron on. I have videos in my earlier conversion. If you want to see how that's done, go back and look at my earlier conversion videos and I'll show you how the rear apron is done, and it's the same for the front. So that's that. The hood, it came out well. I found it in a scrap yard and had to do some body work on it. I had to put new decals on. I got a new 53. And then also I had to get a longer trim piece to go on here because the length of the hood is a bit longer. So we'll go ahead and shut this. Shuts nice. A couple more things on the hood. Not only is the hood longer, but the handle here is different. You notice on the earlier cars, there's no button here. I'll show you the later hood and how that works. So you only have the one latch that's operated from the cable inside the car. You pull that and it disconnects from the latch in there, and then you can lift it up. The hood also doesn't have the hood vents up here. So let's go take a look at the later model hood. And you can see you've got a latch, a handle that has a button latch, and I don't have it on here right now, but there would be that spring mechanism that goes into the latch that's on the apron. So on the later cars, they had the cable pulled latch and the button. So there was like double redundancy. So not a big deal. More of just a security thing, I guess. And on this hood, you have the hood vents. So that's one of the, those are the two ways to tell a later model hood, a later standard hood from an earlier hood. The length, the handle, and the hood vents. The hood vents are a dead giveaway. If you see a Beetle hood with hood vents, it's 68 and later. They didn't have any hood vents prior to that. There are some variations of the earlier hood that go back to the late 50s with the 4-tab, they call it, where this Volkswagen emblem is. This was actually flat instead of having this little ridge here, and then it's a tabbed Volkswagen emblem instead of the 3 pins that this one uses. A 67 hood, it's hard to see, but would be exactly the same as this, but the trim would have been narrower, so the trim holes would be smaller. So the 1 year only 67 hood is really easy to distinguish. I don't know, all I know is this hood is somewhere between probably 1961 and 66. I think prior to 61, I could be wrong, but that's when they, in 60, I believe they still had the 4-tab on some of the cars. Another project I tackled over the last 2 months are these, get you in here, these coilover shocks that are adjustable. I have these on all four wheels, and now I can raise and, I wouldn't necessarily say lower. They're not designed for that. So I think it was riding a little low in the back. I think the torsion bar is probably just weakened over the years. So putting the coils in the back has helped support the rear, and I also did it in the front. I wouldn't say these are designed for lowering, so don't get them for that application. But I like the way it sits. It's probably sitting a little higher than most people would like, but I'm a fan of the kind of the stock look. All right, now we'll head inside into the interior. This is where my other projects I did are. So I went ahead and I liked the dual fuel gauge. On the 68, how the car originally came, there would have been, there's a fuel gauge in the speedometer. So I wanted to go to the older mechanical fuel gauge. So I've got this one in here. I ended up just cutting this dash grill. I tried to get a earlier dash grill, but it does not fit well in the 68 dash for some reason. They're different sizes. So I wanted to make this work. So I ended up just cutting this grill, and I think it looks pretty clean. So this speedometer actually is a 58 speedometer, and that's why it only goes to 80 miles an hour. I liked this speedometer. I think it's got a really cool needle on there. It's got more of a retro look. So I went with that one. I also backdated the rear view mirror to a 67 and earlier style, and the visors here. So I redid those. I had to get creative with mounting the rear view mirror here to the car. The 68 and later mirror mounts completely different than this one, so I had to get creative with the way I mounted that. I would show you, but I don't really want to pop that off right now. But I used the mount from the back of the later mirror, and I screwed it to these 3 screws, and then I covered this with some fabric vinyl material to kind of try to match the headliner. So this actually pops in like the 68 mirror. It just twists in and locks instead of just screwing in with the 3 screws to the car. So I made that work. And yes, I do realize I need to clean this up somehow. I might either get a piece of nice piece of square plastic similar to the mount that the old visors went in and just kind of cover that up, or maybe do some new vinyl there, something like that, just kind of cover up those holes. And then this is where the original mirrors would have gone. I just have the mount screwed back in here. I think it looks okay. All right, now back to the engine here. I removed the 68 oil bath air cleaner, and I went with a, this is a 1962 oil bath air cleaner, which would have been more like the type that was used on Herbie in the movie cars. So I got that on there. That was pretty simple. I still need to get my hose that runs off of the air cleaner here and then down into the pan. I got to figure out how to make that work. But for right now, that's good enough. All right, and last but not least is this Peter Thorndike Imported European Motors dealer sticker. I got that off a guy on Facebook on the Herbie fan page. Nice little touch to the car for any of those Herbie fans. They're gonna know exactly what that is. So, well, there you go. That about wraps up my projects over the last 2 months. The car's coming along really well. I hope you're enjoying the videos. If you haven't, go back and watch the full conversion. It was a lot of work, but a lot of fun. Well, that wraps it up. Thanks guys for coming back to the channel. The weather's cooling off, so I've got plenty more projects to do. It'll be nice. I can get out here and actually work and not completely sweat my head off. So stay tuned. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you in the next one.